I should be doing. I should have the career. I should have the 401k. I should. But I never ever thought to think, what did I want? What did I like? And so through that accident, I mean, I became a hostess at this adorable Italian restaurant. I became a wedding coordinator at this most incredible international restaurant there. I, started painting. I hadn't done that since a child. I did all of these cool things that all of my other friends were already doing in their 20s. So I was did it all backwards, which is a story of my life, because I always say, like, I'm the girl that goes in the back door. I never go in the front door. So I'm never going to do what everyone else does.
Alrighty, it is time to stop hitting snooze and awaken to a life worth being, the fun and inspiring podcast that dives deep into what makes life truly fulfilling. I'm your host, Sue Willoughby, a self-proclaimed badass transformational life coach for women over 40. Join me as I explore the extraordinary journeys of ordinary people who've transformed their lives from the inside out. Tune in weekly to uncover the secrets to smashing through your perceived limits and creating a life that's not just well lived, but totally worth being. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of A Life Worth Being. I hope you are ready for an enlightening episode as we welcome the one and only Jennifer Pilates. She's a celebrity trainer, intuitive coach, health and wellness expert, and the host of her own top-rated podcast, Empowered Within. Jennifer is a guiding light for empaths and highly sensitive souls. Over the past 24 years, she's turned personal resilience into a mission to empower others, from surviving life-altering events to pioneering holistic healing with cutting-edge tools like light therapy patches. I'm so excited to hear about that. I can't wait, because before the show, we were talking about light therapy patches and horses, and so I can't wait to hear what Jennifer has to say about that. So Jennifer's journey has nothing short of transformational. So please stay tuned and discover how Jennifer helps others connect with their true essence and step into their power. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you, Sue. I'm like, wow, Sue, that's really good. Where'd you get all that information?
You gave it to me, girl. That's where
you forget that stuff's out there. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool.
Wow, I'm amazing. I know when I do guest appearances on other people's podcasts, I'm like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I guess I have done all that stuff.
Right? Like you say 24 years. I'm like, wow, I feel really old.
Right. Just getting warmed up. Just getting warmed up.
I am. Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Sue. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. And we had a lovely conversation before. We actually were like, okay, I guess we got to hit the record button eventually. And so here we are. But yeah, tell me about 24 years is a long time. What kind of got you started? What was your inspirational spark that kind of kicked off your journey?
Inspirational spark was a traumatic car accident. Bam.
Wow. That is it. Yeah.
That's really, truly how everything started. Prior to that moment, I was climbing the corporate ladder. I was working in the senior living industry, which I had started in when I was 15. And so this accident happened in my mid to late 20s. And it just really changed everything. And the blessing behind it was that when it happened, it was in Boulder, Colorado. And being a little country bumpkin from Cape Cod, I didn't know about any of this alternative, holistic, therapies that were out there. So I was able to experience so many different things. I was in and out of doctors' offices 8 hours a day, couldn't work, couldn't drive, didn't know my head from my tail. And yeah, I mean, I'm really glossing over a lot. But through that, I found Pilates rehabilitative care. And it was through that moment that everything changed for me. And so I rehabbed with Pilates for a year, along with all of my other doctors, neurologists and psychologists and the whole gamut. And at the end of it, at that point, my career going back to the corporate world, it wasn't great. The company I was with wasn't doing well. So I offered up myself to be laid off, which was a very adult decision, because then when they came in, they were like, hey, do you want to have lunch today? I'm like, yeah. And we go to lunch and it's me and the VP and the head of HR. Hello. You thought I would have gotten a clue. I had no idea.
Right.
I had no idea. So we're sitting at lunch and they're like, well, and I'm like, yeah, I'll have that cheeseburger. And they're, well, we should, what are we going to talk about? it was so totally got, totally got laid off, and I'm like, what? But then I'm like, but you asked for this, and the universe just kept guiding me. And at that point in time, not knowing what I know now, thank goodness I just kept leaning in. And through leaning in, there was a little bit of a car settlement. No coincidence, the Pilates Center in Boulder was right there in my backyard. I mean, everything was so divinely orchestrated for me. So I went to the school for a year, which was nothing short of physical therapy school without coming out being a physical therapist. That school is amazing, what they teach you inside and out of the body, the anatomy, body, mind, spirit. It was such an incredible opportunity. So I always say if anyone has an opportunity and that's what they'd like to do, that's where I suggest you go to do it, because it truly was an amazing experience for me. And it changed my world at that point. I
Wow.
wanted to come out. My mission was that I just didn't want someone else to feel the pain and the agony that I had felt and go through what I'd gone through. And so fast forward, 2 decades later, I've been able to help thousands of people around the world through Pilates, through which turns into coaching and healing and all the things. So it truly, it was such a blessing, because I knew I had a spiritual background prior to that, but it was truly that accident. It was truly that therapy and becoming aligned body, mind, and spirit that elevated all my gifts. Even if I didn't know in that moment, that's really what transpired.
Wow. Well, it's unfortunate that you had to go through that intense, the accident and the healing and everything, but sometimes it does take that to just,
Mm-hmm.
snap us into where we're supposed to be, I guess, right?
100%. I believe that, because I was doing all the things that I thought I should be doing. I should have the career. I should have the 401k. I should. But I never ever thought to think, what did I want? What did I like? And so
Yeah.
through that accident, I mean, I became a hostess at this adorable Italian restaurant. I became a wedding coordinator at this most incredible international restaurant there. I, started painting. I hadn't done that since a child. I did all of these cool things that all of my other friends were already doing in their 20s. So I was sort of did it all backwards, which is a story of my life, because I always say, like, I'm the girl that goes in the back door. I never go in the front door. So I'm never going to do what everyone else does in the timing, in the way, in any way.
Hello, same here.
Right. Thus the black sheep of the family, thus the scapegoat of the family, all that kind of stuff. And I enjoy living my life that way, and it works for me.
Yeah. That's great. I love hearing that because my clients as a transitional or transformational life coach, I have spent most of my life not in my comfort zone. Like my comfort zone was discomfort, right? That's how I grew
Mm-hmm.
up. And so you really I'm like, well, what have I got to lose, right? I'm just going to do this thing because I find it interesting, or I just want to have the experience to do it. And, yeah, then I did have a corporate career, a long corporate career, but at the same time, I'm like, I was always like doing something on the side. I always had some side hustle that was something that I really enjoyed. So I totally get it.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And I don't know if you've done this, if you've taken the deep dive into your own numerology or astrology, you
I've
literally,
had a couple of readings.
have
Yeah,
you
I've
done it?
had some readings and done some stuff. I have some, spiritual guides that I work with on a regular basis. But yeah, tell me more. I want to know
Yeah,
more about
if
your
you can
deep
dive
dive.
in. Well, I always, and this is one of the first places that I start with clients, because I'm like, if you don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here, you really don't know your passion or your mission, so nothing is making sense. And I always find that pulling up the birth chart, truly looking at your moon. Everybody looks at their astrology sign, but it's like, let's go a little deeper. Your moon really is where everything comes from within. And then when we pull up, what is your life path number? That tells us everything. And then we look at, okay, well, what is your personal year that you're in? Because say you're in a personal 9 year and you're trying to start a business, well, that's not going to happen. So let's help you through this. And then we can go deeper and deeper. But I found it so intriguing over the years when I have really kept digging and digging into whom I am, and I've done all the personality tests and all this jazz, it literally says in my chart, like, you are not a 9 to 5 person. Like, that will not work for you. So,
Hello.
like, what, like, don't, it's just not going to work. It
Yeah.
doesn't. And it's so funny because when I look back at the times when I have jostled in and out, toggled in and out of that world, I can only do it for a short period of time. And then it's like, F this.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't, it just goes against the grain so much for me that it's not who I am or why I'm here.
Yeah, 1,000% on that. Yes, I did it. Like you said,
Yeah.
you do it, you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. And, then sometimes you get locked in because of the money or the whatever. And then, but I hate this. I mean, yeah, I literally, walked
Mm-hmm.
away from a, nice 6-figure career with benefits and everything. I'm like, I'm going to go do real estate.
How's that going?
Why not? I'm going to be a coach now.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Why not?
But
You could do all of that. Why not?
exactly, exactly. And I think it's hard for people to understand that you can do those things that you are curious about. And that's what I always tell people, always be curious.
Mm-hmm. Lean
If
into,
something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
oh, 100%. Like lean into what you like and the
Mhm.
money will follow and the people will follow.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
think you're going to do what you're supposed to be doing, it's never going to bode well. And if anything, you'll notice it right away in your health. That's generally where it will peter out.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that because you talked about the body, mind, spirit, the
Mhm.
alignment of getting all the pieces in place. So tell me a little bit more about your approach to that.
So what I have found over the years and working with lots of different people is that I'd have to go to lots of different people to get all of these answers to bring everything together, to make it whole, to make it the body, mind, and spirit. And so I thought, there's got to be a way that I can do this for people so that it's like it's wholesome. It truly is. And it's taken me time and it's taken me pivoting and redoing. And we just talked before the show. I'm like, yep, like I'm redoing a whole new program right now that's going to be launching in January. And I'm so excited because I think I finally found it, right? Like I really have all, because I'm all about like, let's not be perfect, but let's be real. Like I'm still going for it. And so when I work with people, what I find the blessing, my superpower of my being an intuitive empath is that one, you can't bullshit me. And two, the number one thing that all people walk away with after even just one session is saying, oh my God, that was like 10 years of therapy in one session. Like, holy crap, because I can just get to the root cause of whatever it is that we need to get to. And there's just such the sigh of relief with people. So that's super important when we do that, and then kind of let people ruminate with that for, for a little bit of time. Also do a lot of healing and clearing in every session, which is also something that generally doesn't happen. So we've got the intuitive aspect, the superpower that can see through the nuts and the bolts of what someone doesn't really want to talk about. And
Mhm.
then we have the clearing and the healing that's going on so that I can help someone feel very safe and vulnerable, and so that they can start to let their shield or their walls down a bit.
Yeah.
And then we dive into what I call like someone's holy Bible. Like we make a Bible for you. And that is looking at your astrology chart, looking at the numerology, looking at the feng shui of down to what are the colors you should be wearing for success? Where should you be sitting? What should you be doing? Where are good places for you to work versus not? And when we can bring all of that together, and then I blend in the movement and blend it into Pilates somatic healing, as well as there's other aspects of Pilates that we bring in meditation, it really gives that body, mind, and spirit that capsule. So it
Gotcha.
really is one-stop shopping, which is what I'm all about it. Who isn't all about just one-stop shopping? And it's just, I love to be able to give people all of that so that they truly are transforming, aligning, and empowering themselves, body, mind, and spirit. I used to call myself a coach, and I don't do that anymore. I call myself truly your spiritual advisor and your mentor because I'm holding your hand and I'm by your side. I want to guide you, and that's what I do. I've always been this beacon of light for people. So coaching, yes, maybe more towards training in Pilates, but when it comes to really working with people and being a part of a program and then building on that as into a community, it really is about being by your side and guiding you to dig deeper. So usually I'm attracting empaths and highly sensitive people who are either starting their journey or they're in their journey and they don't know what the heck is going on. Why do I feel this way? How do I protect myself? How do I sage? What's going on in the world? I can't do my 9 to 5 job anymore. What am I supposed to do? And so it's all the things. And so those people have always been attracted to me. I always call them the newbies, right? The newbies who are generally 40 plus years old, because for our generations, that's generally speaking when women in particular come into their enlightenment. And it's generally at that point for our generations because they actually have time to sit and be if they choose to. Whereas now these babies popping out, they like know everything. They're like coming in full of light. They know everything. They don't need to know anything. They're amazing, amazing angels on earth. So it's wonderful and I love it. And just as I loved helping people transform with Pilates, and within Pilates, there was the healing going on and there was the coaching going on. It took me a while to get it to the place that I felt comfortable to be able to share it, versus I was just always known as the celebrity trainer. And I had this whole secret world where I was working with people in healing and doing intuitive readings. But I was just, if people say, well, what do you, oh, I'm life coaching. And it's not that I wasn't, I was,
Right.
but it took many years for me to get comfortable in the shoes that I've been guided into by the universe. It has taken me many years to get to the place to be like I went and joined, I think I was telling you, a new community church last week, and a woman was talking to me and she said, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm an intuitive healer. She's like, oh my God, you're a healer too? And I was thinking, when's the last time you were in church and you heard somebody, splurt that out? This is amazing. That's when you know you're in the right place. So
Yeah.
it's taken a while, but truly I love the transformation. I love bringing the movement with the mindset and the spirituality and being able to give that to someone in a package so that they don't have to do what I had to do over the years, which was to search here, there, and everywhere and still fumble along, because there's never been a book that says, here's how to guide you on your spiritual path. As far as one that's all encompassing, there's, again, little bits here and there. And so that might be something that's coming out in the new year.
Maybe so.
Maybe. Because
Wink,
God knows
wink.
I'm a serial entrepreneur and I can't just do one thing.
I know, I hear you on that, and it is, I mean, I think that when you're talking about bringing the body into it through the movement, through Pilates, is huge, and as you were talking about your process and how people can't bullshit you, and you're like, "Yeah, When I work with horses as my
Oh,
coaching
yes.
partners, you can't bullshit a horse either, because they will, like, they're like, no, 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 definitely not that. No, you're full of it right now. And they will
Yes.
just call you on your stuff, right?
They're
All the
so
time.
amazing. I wish we were closer. I would be like there. I would be right
Totally.
there doing a session.
We
Oh my
might have
gosh.
to team up and do like a retreat or something. We might have to like do like
Abso-freaking-lutely, we need to do this.
that would be awesome.
I
Whether you come
love.
out to the West Coast or we
Mhm.
do it on the East Coast, what I just think it would be
Or
really fun.
both. Or
Yeah,
both.
or
Why limit
both.
ourselves? We'll do it both ways.
There
Yes.
you go.
Because you like out
2025, here
east
we
and I
come.
like, yeah, out west. Oh my gosh, that would be, oh, I have such goosebumps. Oh, I love it.
I just think it would be awesome. But so when I'm coaching, right, people are so up in their head, and when they're working with the horse and the horse is avoiding them, right, because the horse is tuning into their incongruency, you have to get people back in their bodies and ask them
Mhm.
where they're feeling those things. What are they feeling? What is the visceral feeling? Not the word. And then they're like, oh. So like you said, I'm sure you have those aha
Mhm.
moments with your clients too.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it truly is. It's about being in your body. And going
Yeah.
back to my car accident, I remember a
Mm.
very poignant moment with one of the doctors who looked at me and said, "You've never lived in your body." Was
Mm.
26 years old. And knowing now what he really meant then, he was just trying to help heal me through the car accident. If we had gone any deeper at that point, I mean, that was, I probably could not have handled that. But just those words have stayed with me over the years. So I finally understood, because I never was in my body from being a child, because like you, it was an interesting setting. And
Mhm.
so, it just wasn't safe. So always being outside my body. So yeah, and I have to make sure, like, now I know when I go in and out, but
Yeah.
I really try to be more careful about being present. And if I am trying to check out, why am I checking out? What am I being triggered
Interesting.
with? I am my own person. I am my own advisor too. I am my own coach. I don't, I walk my line. I do my somatic Pilates videos that I videotape for everyone else. I do the Reiki Lattes and I do the yoga Lattes because
Reiki Lattes. I love that.
yes, because not everybody just likes Pilates. And I'm like, I got you. Like, don't worry. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm always, Pilates fusion is my world because my whole world is about fusing everything together to make it work for everyone. And so
That is so
that's,
cool.
yeah, been really a blessing to be able to work with so many different people and all sorts of wild and interesting people.
Well, and I think Reiki is so powerful. I have taken 2 levels. I'm not a master, but I 2 levels because I use it when I was doing equine massage as well. So I do equine, I do Reiki on the horses, and because they're so sensitive, and they're so like I can like my horse, especially Moose, my hands are like 6 inches off of his body and he's like, "What are you doing back there?" Like, whoa, and he'll walk away from me and I'm like, "Okay, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
here when you get back," right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so powerful and they're so sensitive. But I love doing that as well.
Yeah.
Reiki Lattes. I'm curious, what is that exactly?
So, so Reiki Lattes came about with a new moon, full moon practice that I had, which fuses yoga and Pilates together with Reiki healing, energy work, and meditation.
Awesome.
And so, again, it's all encompassing. I want everyone to feel it all, move through it, embrace it, embody it. And so, again, like I said, it's taken me 2 decades to, put all the pieces together. And I feel like, I finally have all these pieces together to really help people, just in one circumference, which I just want to make people's lives better, simpler, if that's possible. And if I can, give you that little box and help guide you so that you can have all your tools in here, because
Mhm.
that's really what it's about, me helping to empower you so that you have your own toolbox. I'm always here for you, but it's about empowering you to live your best life too.
So how do you work with people? Do you work with them, I mean, remotely or in person, or I mean, a mix of both? I mean, because it's a lot of cool stuff, but I'm, just curious how it works.
It is. It is. So I've always done all of my readings over the phone, not even via Zoom, because I really feel that sometimes when you're doing readings and healing sessions where I can see you, I can get distracted by our 3D world by looking at you, whereas I just want to stay through and bring the channeled messages through. And so that if I say something and you kind of like wince, then I don't want my energies to come into it. So all of my readings have generally always been over the phone. And the healings have been over the phone. As far as trainings and working with people, I have been brought on location for people. People have come to me. So there are instances where that happens too. Retreats and private workshops as well that I've been brought in. That happens too. But majority of my work is all virtual at this point, unless I'm going somewhere on location or we're doing retreats and workshops. So it's really fabulous
Yeah,
because there's, again, no excuse. And there's a
right.
whole on demand, wellness studio of videos and meditations. And so there's no excuse. And I really try to over deliver with my clients so that if they can't have me, then it's like, okay, well, here you can do this. So no matter what excuse someone brings to me, I have an answer.
There's no escaping
There's no
Jennifer.
escaping. I love that. It's true.
Yeah, feel free to use that. That's fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
no escaping Jennifer. That could be a new book too. That could be a book as well.
there you go. So do you have a book out currently?
I'm a part of a book, yes, called The
Oh,
Change Empowerment, which was amazing. I co-authored that book, and that was a really cool experience. And it was so wild because I was like, I don't know. People have been asking for books from me for honestly 2 decades. And I'm like, well, I just don't know. And ironically enough, when it came time for this book, I had been displaced with Hurricane Ian. I'm in a FEMA hotel and I get the call that says, "Oh, by the way, we need your chapter next week." And I'm like,
Uh,
"Oh, okay. Let me think about this." And so this is what I did. I put my earphones in my head. I put these earphones in my head, had my phone. I went out for a walk and I literally dictated into my phone, which became a channeled message. By the time I got back and I put it into my computer to look at the transcription, it was an entire book. So I had to
well,
take a whole book and put it down to less than a chapter because they still had to add stuff to the chapter, which was very difficult. And I felt like I'll be very honest, I don't feel like my message was delivered in this. What was more important was, one, that I was a part of the process. Two, I met incredible people through the process. But three, I realized that I could literally write a book in an hour. So
awesome.
I have quite a few that are started. I have an Oracle deck that'll be coming out next year. I have all sorts of goodies in the bags that are coming.
Yeah.
But it was an incredible experience. And that's why I would say every opportunity, I don't like to say no to too much if it's in alignment. As long as something's in alignment with me, even if I don't understand it, I like to lean into it because it may not be delivering the end result that I think. But out of this opportunity, I realized that for me, writing, it's my voice. My voice is healing. That's why, my Pilates classes were always so popular. Was it really about Pilates? It was about the healing comes through my voice. It doesn't necessarily come through my hands. When people work with me, that's what they begin to understand. They don't need to be
Interesting.
on a massage table for me to deliver healing to them. So that's why my podcast has become so important, because of the healing that comes through. So it's been really cool. So yes. So the answer to your question is yes, I've co-authored a book in a very interesting manner. Um, and
Sounds like it.
it was wild. Yeah.
So, okay. And initially in the introduction, we talked about the light patches, the healing light patches. Can you tell me about those?
Oh my God, yeah, they're fabulous. Here, I have them hidden all over my body. Like, I have them
Oh,
on my
wow.
shirts. I do. So I have one here today. Let me just pull this out of my chest. So this is what it looks like. This is one of the light therapy patches. This is
Okay.
amazing. So I have been personally wearing these and using them with clients, my family, and my fur babies it'll be 15 years in 2025.
Okay.
I
So, just for those of you who are listening and not watching, go to YouTube. And it's what is about the size of a quarter, it looks like,
Yeah,
right?
maybe a quarter.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarter. So
Yeah.
how it works is this is non-transdermal. So what that means is nothing from this patch goes into your body. Zero,
Okay.
zippo, zilcho. I also want to start with, I am the most ridiculous sensitive human being when it comes to anything, as far as lotions, what I eat, what I put on my anything. So I have been fine wearing this on my body. There's no latex in it. So I just want to let that out there. So
Okay.
now you know I'm allergic to latex. So right. So how this works when you place it on your body is you are an infrared little heat machine. So stop buying your infrared things. You don't really need them. So your body, when you place this patch on your body, your infrared heat from inside reflects off of the white area. The white area, I want you to think, if you could look at it under a microscope, would look like a lot of little snowflakes. So a lot of little lattice-esque
Okay.
structures.
Uh-huh.
And that reflects your light back into your body, which begins stimulating your stem cells to rejuvenate from ground zero, to begin healing your body. It knows
Wow.
where to go. It knows how to go. It is amazing. One of the things that I would say as to why these are so important, first, for anyone that is an empath or highly sensitive person, is that this patch will regulate your nervous system in under 15 minutes.
Wow.
So when we're talking anxiety, stress, all the things, I don't live without this patch. And there's numerous ones that we carry, but this is the one that, like, I never live without because of that. It keeps my cortisol levels balanced. It keeps my hormones balanced, my endocrine system balanced. It helps decrease inflammation. When you decrease inflammation in your body, you are fighting off dis-ease in your body, which means you're fighting off diseases in your body. So unbelievable. Having the opportunity to generate your own stem cells from ground zero. is amazing, because you think people go spend hundreds of millions of dollars to go get stem cell replacement therapy, which generally is they're going to take my 50-year-old stem cells and just flip them and put them back in me. No,
Yeah.
I want brand new ones. So, yeah. So, what's been amazing through this is, for instance, you can see I haven't done a podcast with like not a headphones on or my hair down in forever. This is all my natural color. So I'm no longer highlighted. There's no highlights, lowlights, there's no nothing. You can, if you can even see, there's a little bit of gray that's still left, but
Hmm.
like there's nothing. Like all this dark hair coming in,
Uh-huh.
that's normal for every person that starts the patches within 90 days. Like it's
So my
unbelievable.
gray is going to go away.
Your
Is that what
grays
you're
will
saying?
go away. My
Interesting.
eyesight has improved immensely. I was really struggling. I had to forget the far-sighted, north-sighted thing, but things that are far away from me, I struggled with.
Okay.
And it was last summer, the summer before, I could really feel my eyes like, and I thought, oh my God, this is what people talk about when they're in their 50s, right? Like, shit, I'm gonna need glasses soon. I thought these patches were supposed to fix this. What the hell? Well, you know what happened 3 months later when I went to the eye doctor? He's like, oh
Uh,
my God, like, you don't need anything. Like, your eyes are like, they're
what?
just like getting younger. And I thought, what I felt and thought was something bad happening was actually them resetting. So, I mean,
Interesting.
it's amazing. Like, do you feel your hair grow? No. But when I have, like, earlier today, there was, again, very, very sensitive empath I am. There were some crazy energies going off, sun flares, etc. And it was, taking through my body. And I put this patch on, and within 10 minutes, I was like, okay, thank you, God. Like,
Wow.
so amazing. And so now, flip it, I want to talk about animals, because I'm a fur baby mama and my babies have been wearing these patches forever. My very first fur baby, I know that I was able to extend his life by 5 years because of the patch. And so what's really cool is when you get the patches, they come in a sleeve of 30. So figure
Okay.
one a day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You want to
Okay.
drink a fair amount of water because we're flushing the system, just like someone would tell you after massage or acupuncture. These go on
Right.
acupressure points.
Hmm.
And so when we place the patches on the babies, the fur babies, this is what I've had experience with. Definitely all my kitty cats, horses, dogs, ducks, birds, cows, goats. I think that's everybody that I personally have had experience with.
Interesting.
That, for instance, one of my fur babies is equally as sensitive to the energies of the earth as I am. And so they will receive a patch. So when I wear a patch for 12 hours, I will take it off and I put it in a baggie and I label it. And then they will get that patch, because while there's not enough left for me, there's plenty for this little 10-pound fur baby.
Interesting.
Now, if we are traveling, if there is a storm, if they are really not well, which never happens, by the way, but the traveling and the storm does, they get a brand new patch. Like when we're traveling, oh, everybody is patched from head to toe. There's no joke.
Interesting.
I have one who literally, it's pure panic. He gets in the car, he looks at you, he's gonna vomit, and he's gonna poop. I've got him down to just pooping, and I mean, I'm talking projectile, like
Nice.
and your heart melts for him because he's just like, ah! He looks like me trying to get on a plane. And so it's been amazing. When I first started the one patch on she's gonna be 9 next week, my baby girl. She turned into a kitten in like 3 days. I was like, who are you? Not that she was old and frumpy, but she was definitely acting like the older sister. I don't really do
Right.
anything. All of a sudden, she's doing flips. She's flying around the house. And so
Crazy.
it is amazing, but particularly for horses. And that's why I know I asked you pre-show, like, are you using them on? We actually have specific patches that were made just for horses.
Okay.
Um, Now, do you have to use the ones that are specific just for horses? No. And oddly enough, I wouldn't suggest that, because I know all the tricks, and after 14, 15 years on these, I know all the tricks. I know how with one patch to get a good night's sleep, to decrease inflammation, to decrease pain, anxiety, release stomach upset, get rid of high altitude sickness. I mean, I'm like the trick of all tricks over here.
I
I'm a
love
one
it.
I'm a one trick pony.
Hey, whatever works. I'm serious. This is fascinating.
Well,
I'm not
they
familiar at all.
yeah, they're amazing. Our company is 20 years old. We're gonna be
So
hitting
you created this?
No, I wish. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right.
Wouldn't that be freaking amazing?
Right.
No, a gentleman by the name of David Schmidt, who owns the company LifeWave, he created this. He is like the real Spock from Star Wars. His
Awesome.
heart is so into helping people heal body, mind, and spirit, and knowing that everyone deserves good health care. Everyone deserves to feel good, to live good. And that's what he wants to be able to give to people. And so he started these light therapy patches years ago with the Navy. The government
Hmm.
had come to him and said, look, we need something for these guys going down into the submarines that isn't a
Yeah.
stimulant that will keep them awake. And that is how his first relationship with the government actually started. And so the Navy actually, and those were our energy patches. And so that's how that aspect started. He could see the light literally and was like, I really want everyone to be able to have these. And so, most recently, a couple of years ago, while our company has always grown, we were never big on social media. We are always word of mouth, and we talk to people, we see people. That's how we work. That's how our whole company has worked. Well, a few years ago, a gentleman by the name of My Pillow, Mr. Lindell, decided that he liked patches. And so suddenly things exploded. And so,
Yeah.
which was amazing because talk about an incredible reach to be able to help more people around the world. And then most recently, we have a certain health expert, a Mr. Kennedy out there who is patching, which is
Hmm.
just incredible because we want everyone to be healthy. We want everyone deserves to be able to afford good health. And so through the patches, it's possible. It's less than a cup of coffee a day. And we know I only drink decaf. And that's more than enough caffeine for me. But so it's truly been amazing and to know that you can support yourself and your animals because I'm super particular when it comes to my fur babies.
So are
And
they sticky? I'm curious because I'm thinking like, how's it gonna? Because I have a dog who is very that's attractive. I love that. Yeah.
they
She
stick.
just put one on her forehead for those of you who are
So I
just listening along. Yeah.
so what you do is when you have the collar, right? Like
Hmm.
say there was a give me something here. Like so, collar, you would take it and you would just simply wrap it around the collar and it would stick. And so you would face the white part into their collar. Now, some
Like,
people will say, well, my dog or cat doesn't wear a collar. You can also put it right directly on their fur and it'll stay. Now, some people will even if somebody say if they've had a surgery or something, you can shave a little bit and put it there too. But I've seen it on most horses where people literally just put it right on the placement of whatever is inflamed, whatever's going on, we can kind of guide intuitively. And that's also been different for me in working with the patches because being intuitive, I can immediately go, here's what's going on in your body, here's where to place it. Like you may be feeling pain on your shoulder, but really it's coming from your lower back, your L4, L5. So I want you to place it there. Because again, it's all about getting to the root cause. And so that's always coming in helpful with people when I can help guide people to the placement above and beyond what's um, studied. It is peer studied, it is legally studied. We have patents, all the jazz. And you receive
mhm.
booklets that give you those suggested patch placements based on the clinical research studies, which we have hundreds and hundreds of those. So it's
That's
amazing.
incredible. Yeah.
Amazing, 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 amazing.
So
So
they only last for 12 hours, right? Is that
12 hours on, 12 hours off. And the reason being, it's not that they only last for that long, but you can only stimulate your body and regenerate your stem cells for so long. It's sort of
okay?
like anything else. If you kept
Yeah.
you know, eating the same thing over and over, you're eventually going to get sick of it. Well, if you kept the same patch on, the same placement, your body's going to get used to that and become null and void to it, so to speak.
I see.
So you want to give your body the break and you want to be drinking your water and cleansing and helping flush the system. Now with with the Eon patch, with that particular patch, I can go 12 hours and then put another one on 12 hours if I need to, because that one is not going to regenerate my stem cells, but it's going to do all the other stuff.
Okay.
Does
Wow,
that make sense?
fascinating.
Yes.
And do
So
you
fascinating.
and you said something about more than one patch at a time? Or do you just have one patch on at a time? You said you were covered, but I'm just
So
curious.
I know. So today I'm not covered. If you saw me in the airport secretly, there would be patches everywhere. Right
And
now
is that just are you afraid of flying?
oh God, yes.
Okay.
God, yes. Like I've been praying every day. I'm like, God, can we just find someone that has, I don't even know if I could get in a private plane, but I'm like, could we find someone that has a private plane that I could just like go and come back and not have to deal with everything else because I feel like it's everything else that causes the anxiety. And because I'm an empath, and even though I protect myself and I do all the things, I pick up on everybody else's anxiety. So even
Yeah.
though my anxiety may be at a 5, by the time I get into the airport and I'm around all the people, it's like, holy sweet Jesus, as good of a protector as I am, it still is a bit much. So yeah, there's a lot. But today, for instance, I have on 3. So
Okay.
I have on the patch that I showed, which is the anti-inflammation, the decrease the anxiety patch. We call it just it's the happy patch. That's the one
I
that's
like
going
that.
to, it's the happy
Who
patch.
doesn't need a happy patch these
Who
days?
doesn't need a happy patch? The happy patch is 100% for every human being, specifically for our empaths and highly sensitive people. Y'all need to be on a happy patch every day. The other 2 that I have on are our stem cell rejuvenating patches. And one of the patches is called the X39. That has a little bit of all of our patches in it. So it's pretty damn amazing just by itself. The other patch that I have on is called the X49. And the reason that I love this one is because if you are someone who is sensitive to, or you care about fighting off, wanting to repel any sort of EMF, 5G, um, all the electrical stuff that's going on. You want to fight heavy metals. You want to
Mhm.
improve your cardiovascular system, which heart health is very important to me. That's also why I have that one on. So, yeah, especially being around computers and stuff. So I don't always do that
Yeah.
every day, but I can tell you that every day I have on at least 2.
Okay.
If I'm on an
Cool.
airplane, I have been known to sit on a whole sleeve. Now, this is after I would like to preface this with the first half of my life. I was incredibly sick. I had autoimmune disease. I was on every drug, every asthma inhaler, Xanax, the works. Fast forward 50, how old am I? I might be 51. I'm not. I use patches. I burn sage. I don't even take vitamins. I take whole food supplements, which is nothing more than freeze dried whole food. So to be able to do that 180 is pretty amazing. And I do credit the
Wow.
patches for a lot of that. Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible journey that you have just taken us on and that you've been on yourself. And I love how you've been able to put all the pieces together to create this unique system that you have. So, if somebody is interested, and I can't imagine that somebody wouldn't be interested, myself included, how can people find out more about what you do and how to work with you and all of that? What's the best way?
Yeah. So the best way is to head over to my website, which is jenniferpilates.com.
Okay.
Continue the conversation. You can just simply even just fill out the contact, like, and say hi. Definitely, there's information about the patches there, about my readings, healings, the intuitive mentor coaching slash mentor program is there. So all the goodies are there. The podcast is there. It's the place to go, jenniferpilates.com. And I'm happy just to chat and help guide you any way you need.
That's awesome. And your podcast, tell me a little bit more about that. Is it weekly podcast?
It is. So, funny thing about the podcast, it started out very particular and very structured, as all podcasts were told should be, same day, same time, every week, which was lovely until it wasn't. And so it absolutely is weekly, but you could get 2 weekly, you could get 1, you could get 3. You just don't know because it's all into what I am guided. So I sit on a lot of interviews that I host and that I do, which is amazing to be able to bring all sorts of different people, celebrities and healers and everyday people like Sue and I on there to help empower and inspire people because everyone has had a challenging moment. And everyone has gotten to the other side of it. And how have you done that? And what is your superpower? What do we need to know? Because somebody out there has been in that same position. And so I bring all that through. And then I also weave in and out all of the astrology and the numerology and the spiritual aspect of what's going on, so that for my more inclined spiritual people, they're understanding maybe what they're feeling, especially with lately, Pluto and Aquarius and the numerology and the astrology right now. It is, it's next level. We're in times we've never seen before. So it's important for people to understand that. And the more you understand that, the more you can, I feel, navigate the world around you in a better way. And especially, being in a Mercury retrograde, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but so many people are bred to believe it is. It's all in how you work with things. So the podcast has been a beautiful mission that came about of just wanting to reach people globally. And so, yeah, I love it. I love it. My other baby that's gosh, becoming a teenager now.
That is so amazing. Jennifer, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show, and thank you for helping me with my car troubles. Before we hit the record button, I shared with Jennifer my car was being attacked. It was putting itself in harm's way intentionally. It's attracting issues. And it's a fairly new car. So I have a little cleaning and clearing. Does it need a patch maybe? I don't know.
That would be a brilliant idea.
Inanimate objects?
That would be a brilliant idea, but definitely the saging. Yeah, we ended up doing a little mini intuitive reading on the car so that y'all could bond and we could figure out what was going on. So that was a really cool moment.
I'm going to go have a nice cup of coffee or something and sit in the car, and we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to tell it how much I love it and that it's okay and it's safe. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. That was so fun. But Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. And I hope that, everyone that's listening got something out of this podcast, because there were so many gems, so much information, so much healing, so much intuition that you brought to the show. So thank you so much. And everything will be in the show notes, how to get in touch with you. And I'm fascinated. So I'm going to check it out myself.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sue. This has been a blast.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. And please like and share and everything else about this podcast. Please send this episode to someone that you know can use a little bit of healing and a little bit of intuition, or a whole lot, and maybe some patches. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Life Worth Being. I hope you found it fun and inspiring. And to avoid a bad case of FOMO, please be sure to click that subscribe button. If you love what you heard today, please share it with a friend, and then hop on over to your favorite podcast platform and return the love with a wonderful review and 5-star rating. It would truly mean the world to me. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and on my website, links below in the show notes. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week for more fresh insights on awakening a life worth being.